What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you were Tiny Ti, baby, did you get the Hollywood version of Olga's lawyer? If you guys don't know, Ti and Tiny have been hit with more accusations about them having Diddy-like escapades. And let me just bring you up to speed, okay? Because they're saying we're innocent. They've been trying to do this for 3 years. It hasn't worked out. The only problem was the only reason why they quote unquote won or nothing went any further with those other cases is because the other cases were outside of the statute of limitations. Again, they weren't invalid because there wasn't any evidence. They were invalid, right? They were invalid because the statute of limitations had expired. However, California opened up that act that opened up till 2026. You can bring claims just like in New York against anyone, anything that happened. They temporarily lifted the statute of limitations. And there is a retired Air Force officer that is saying that T.I. and Tiny basically did a non consensual throuple. She wasn't into it. They stuck feet into things. Tiny was going off. Go watch my other video. I don't even want to imagine that, right? So then they were like, for 3 years, this has been going on. For 3 years, that's been going on. And I was like, okay, but did y'all do it? That's what I want to know. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how long it took people to make accusations. The question is, did it happen or not? So get this. Tiny and T.I.'s lawyer is making this weird claim that basically they're extorted. And I'm like, how does another person's lawyer extort you? That sounds like it's actual settlement. We're going to get into that. But baby, if you're talking about people asking for money as a sign of guilt, the one thing we got to talk about is who T.I. and Tiny's lawyer is. Baby, T.I. and Tiny's lawyer has represented the guiltiest of guilty. And he's known for settling too. So I don't know. We're talking about what the lawyer Tyrone Blackburn is asking for. Can we talk about who their lawyer is? Y'all, let's get into this because I promise you it's going to shock you a little bit. Okay. So, first of all, let's get into who their lawyer is. Their lawyer, in my opinion, is the guilty person lawyer, at least guilty in the court of public opinion. We will get, he has represented. Should we talk about who he actually represented? No, let's get into first the way they said they're being extorted for $10 million. Again, I don't know if they're guilty or not, but the way they're moving definitely makes it seem like they are hiding something. First of all, listen to this. This was actually leaked, I believe, in the Neighborhood Talk, right? They said a source connected to Tiny and T.I., methinks is his lawyer, says the attorney representing their accuser, that would be Tyrone Blackburn, he's also representing Diddy's accusers. I will say one thing, this young guy, right? This young guy or old guy, how old is he? He has been racking up. If anybody got any complaints, y'all need to get in touch with him. The attorney representing their accusers suing the couple for SA allegedly demanded a payment of $10 million before a statute of limitations was set to expire. The statute expired on 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, and the accuser filed on January 2nd at 6 p.m. The court. Okay, so listen, is this what they're talking about? They've been trying to what? They've been trying to get extorted. Again, can I just say this, right? The thought that T.I. and Tiny's lawyer is trying to pretend that settlement talks is extortion. Like, it's, first of all, if this is settlement talks, it's illegal to leak settlement talks. But maybe the attorney just demanded that, right? Again, I have to ask you guys, what is the crime behind asking for money, especially in civil cases? I would hope that T.I. and Tiny's lawyer would have learned from Tory Lanez. Trying to win cases via blogs, via public sentiment, that just always backfires. Again, I rolled my eyes when I read that headline. Like, do people not understand the goal of a civil case? It's so weird that the avenue their lawyers taking, it's literally splitting hairs. I'm looking at this right now. You're trying to pretend that money giving in a settlement is any different than money that a jury gives you. It's the same concept. You will be compensated for your harms. The person will either give it out their pocket, or if they think they're in the right, they're going to fight with a jury. And the jury, if they think that they're wrong, is going to give you that money. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. This is what keeps people afraid to sue, because there's some stigma that if you're asking for money in a civil trial, which is the only thing that can happen in a civil trial, well, besides an injunction when they order you not to do anything, but they also give punitive damages. What is the difference? Again, does this attorney think that everybody's dumb? That literally, just it seems like there's a lot of dumb people out there. They'll somehow look at this as guilt, right? Again, it seems like their strategy is to attack the attorney instead of the victim. I don't know. They're just they're playing the PR game. I hope it's because they're not worried about the charges, but let's get into who their lawyer actually is. Because when I saw that, that's when I really just um flipped out, right? I really just flipped out and was like, wait a second. Y'all talking about somebody asking for 10 million. But in that case, let's talk about who your lawyer is. Let's talk about what actually is happening. Let's talk about what's happening with that. All right, pull up. Let's run. Let's run. Their attorney is Andrew Bertler, right? He has a history of defending controversial clients, including Chris Knopf, Army Hammer. That's the guy that was accused of munching on people like they're Cheetos, being a more famous, arguably more attractive Jeffrey Dahmer. And of course, Prince Andrew. This is the person in a statement provided by a lawyer for the couple, Andrew B. Butler. Mr. and Mrs. Harris denied the accusations, calling the civil suit extortion. Now, I'm not saying that T.I. and Tiny are guilty. Nothing of these claims have been independently verified. We'll see if it even gets to court. But you talking about somebody asking for 10 million, which to me means they think the evidence they have is so strong that they want to go after you. But you got the same attorney that defended Chris Knopf, Army Hammer, and Prince Andrew. Get this. He defended Ari Hammer. That's the person that was a new age Jeffrey Dahmer, or accused of it. Chris Knopf, you remember from Sex in the City. Danny Masterman, that's the boy from that 70s show that got in trouble for R-ing numerous women and is in jail right now for it. Bryan Singer, that is the director that everybody said, even Megan Fox was like, yo, he a Harvey Weinstein without her. And also Prince Andrew. If you guys don't know, he represented Prince Andrew against Virginia Guthrie. That's the girl that actually got cash out of the royal family. Maybe this is a good thing because he seems to settle and try to make it go away. They said he's the kind of lawyer to represent controversial public figures who have already been tried and pilloried in the court of public opinion. And how does that lawyer feel about taking on such controversial clients? Y'all listen. He said, he says he has good relationships with entertainment lawyers, publicists, crisis communication specialists. So they come through referrals and word of mouth, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying T.I. and Tiny are guilty because we don't really know the facts. We only have accusations. But the fact that they lawyered up such a high-powered lawyer that tends to represent people that have already been found guilty in the court of public opinion. Is this the same thing you're saying for 3 years, for 3 years, for 3 years? What exactly are y'all afraid of it coming out? Again, they asked him, what can you say about Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who you repped in a lawsuit against Virginia Guthrie? He said that case has been resolved, dismissed by a court pursuant to a settlement that the parties reached. It's over. They said there was never a case. A lot of people think this is with Ari Hammer and about him being the next Jeffrey Dahmer. There was never a case. A lot of people think that there was never a lawsuit, never a criminal proceeding. The media is obsessed with that matter. It never turned into litigation or into a criminal charge against anyone. This is a misconception. But did you settle? Sounds like he did. In the early days of the pandemic, everybody was home. This is why he thinks the story of Ari Hammer got so big. We have a well-known, handsome actor arguably. Being accused of salacious, kinky interactions with women, it captured the public's attention, but was completely blown out of proportion to the extent that there was never anything at court. There wasn't a matter for me to handle other than to help him manage the image in the press. They talk about what's your status with Danny Masterman. He said, I'm not involved in the criminal trial, but because there's a criminal trial, the civil case is stayed right now. I'm his attorney in the civil case. Chris Noth, right? That's another media story. I helped him in the press, but there was never a criminal charge, never been a lawsuit filed. But all these people settled. At least I think they settled. It was right when the Sex and the City reboot was being promoted. He had just done a Peloton ad. It's almost akin to what happened with Ari, a popular actor, and salacious allegations that captures the public attention. Then we go on to Bryan Singer. Variety magazine was primarily involved because we published a story penned by Blake Stuman, his former partner, who said he was SA'd by Bryan Singer. We provided our points to refute Blake's allegations. Variety included those in the story, and nothing has come of it since. You guys, you guys, you guys. Again, I'm not saying T.I. and Tiny have something or nothing to worry about. What I am saying is, it seems weird. It seems odd that their attorneys is trying to attack the attorney, and I believe Tyrone A. Blackburn is Black, is trying to attack the attorney representing the victim instead of clearly addressing the claims. Again, maybe they're innocent, but if you want to go off on someone for asking for money to say, because that's the point of it, to save both of us time in a trial, then we need to look at who's actually representing them. Because at the end of the day, if asking for money is an admission of guilt or you moving funny, then baby, the lawyer that T.I. and Tiny have to represent them, baby, that's the biggest thing, that they moving funny and moving grimy. Because baby, I don't know. I do know that a lot of people do think that the reason why T.I. and Tiny got away with the Atlanta accusations is because, let's get real, the Atlanta court system is very, in my opinion, maybe not related to the case, but is very unfriendly to women's rights, victims' rights, and that whole city, at least the legal system, okay, I don't want to say the legal system, but it seems to be that if you are a celebrity, at the end of the day, it's Black Hollywood. The same way if you are a celebrity and you have pull in Hollywood, in California, it always seems like the judges in the court system go light on you. Atlanta is Black Hollywood, right? Always seems like the judges go. Just like in New York City, the music industry seems to run it, and the legal system always seems to go light on people, unless you shine taking the charge for Diddy. But then again, the fact that they even well, you know what? We'll go live and talk about that later. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye.